about the Messi thing?
Anything else on the Messi front, Chris, before we move on?
No, I'm done. I'm
falling out. I told you, I never want to bring this guy's name up again.
I don't know, man. This Messi thing is just a freaking mess. What a disaster.
I don't want to hear this name ever again until it's official. But they got me back.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 72 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, is Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
Show some respect, guys. I know Tata's in the building. I know Messi just got here. But let's do everybody a favor, okay? Show some fucking respect.
I think what you should be showing respect to is the homegrowns, which you disrespected last episode. But
it's a beautiful shirt, by the way. Beautiful shirt.
You, I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get too deep into the homegrowns because I mean, they're gonna be an afterthought after this week because everybody's gonna be talking about Messi. But you just gotta respect them. Yes, I do apologize. We apologize. We figured that a lot of people might be watching the Gold Cup game. It's the semifinals, right? We get to the finals if we win today. But so we figured we push it back half an hour, give the game a chance to end. But it's still, last time I checked, 0-0. So we're not going to keep waiting for it to go to extra time and penalty. So we just decided to go live anyway. So we're sorry for the wait. Yeah. But what's going on, Chris?
Listen, I'm excited, right? We got a big game on Saturday against Indiana Vassilev. So here we go. Vassilev versus Messi, even though Messi's not going to play. But I just thought that would be nice to put up there. It's going to be a fun game. And then we got Sunday, baby. Sunday.
I just realized you can't see. I'm
nice.
rocking my Harry Potter lightning bulb.
Nice.
Yeah. Today was the last chapter in the final movie of Harry Potter. Me and the kids and my wife, the narrator, basically, she helped read the books. For the last year, we were watching Harry Potter with the kids. And today we finally finished. It took us a full calendar year to read through them. I'm rocking the lightning bolt, so it's a sad day in the Granada household, but we move on. Now, Chris, I know you like.
Shouldn't there be another movie, by the way?
No, that's it. We finished the 7th book, and the 7th book was split into 2 movies. We watched both those movies, and I mean, I heard that there's gonna be like spin-off shows where they're gonna redo the show and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
and we know that there's a Broadway play, and we're gonna look into that. See if we could take my daughter because she's become a big Harry Potter fan over the last year. So, but anyway, getting back onto the Inter Miami front. So today was a big day, right? Messi Mania has officially started. Yesterday, I mean, things have changed. You had helicopters flying over the stadium. You had paparazzi chilling out somewhere in that airport, watching like creeps while Messi got off the plane with his family, started walking in. Supposedly he trained. Or I don't even know if it was a full training. Maybe he just did like some videos and like promo pictures and stuff. But yeah, he was in the stadium today. Apparently, from what Joseph said, the players didn't meet with Messi today. I don't know if he's officially signed quite yet. So I don't know if he can do all that stuff. But I mean, he's here. That's it. Messi Mania has begun because he is in the city and he is in the stadium. How are we feeling about that, Chris? Excited?
Listen. I'm feeling, of course. I mean, who isn't excited to have the best football player to ever play on a pitch? Look at that. I just hit
George.
2 of
Thank you,
George, we're going to get to you in a second. But before we do, I want to give a shout out to Sidney, listening live from India. Thank you so much.
What's going on,
yeah,
Sidney?
That's dope. And then we also have Santi, which he's listening from Houston, Texas. Thank you for the shout out. And then Lucas, of course, chiming in. Good evening, fellas. Right, but let's get back to
I just want to put it out there. I don't think it's any coincidence that today is listening after the homegrowns kind of went ahead and put on a show this past weekend. You know that this is what he's here for, right? To talk about Noah Allen and Kramaski.
Yeah, of course. He wants to know all about Frey. Yeah,
he's
trying to learn. He's trying to learn about boat right. So and just to tickle a little bit, I decided to say 2 soccer phrases with football and pitch. So getting started on a good roll here. Yeah, man, Messi is. I mean, we're talking about bringing the best soccer player ever, right? Arguably, into MLS, right? And by the way, I just want to mention, because I mean George wants to come at me with this with the HGs. Let me tell you something, George. Get out of here. Okay. And I'm saying that specifically because my wife was making fun of me because I always tell people to get out of here. But you, George, you get out of here. Okay.
But I think
This
you know what? It's
homegrown
funny
stuff,
because
I
I've had a
understand the
few
love,
people
guys.
come. No, but I've had a few people contact me through direct message or whatnot and ask me if Chris is being serious or if he's just putting on for the show. No,
Yeah, no,
Chris
I
is really
am
an idiot.
totally
He
serious.
really is an idiot. Yeah, for sure.
I'm
Like
not
just
an
like what you
idiot.
see is what you get. Like he
Listen,
does have these dumbass takes.
listen, shout out to Mike V listening from the mom's basement. Listen, you get love too, okay?
With
Right?
respect.
Mike V is going to be one of the top chatters here, okay? One thing that I got to mention is I'm just going to preface this by saying I have no hate towards the homegrown, okay? I don't hate them. I think the sky's the limit with these guys, okay? But let's call a spade here. If it wasn't for people being injured or dropping to their death, these guys, most of them would not see the field.
That's how most things work, though, in sports. Buddy.
Well, but like, I mean, and then on top of that, you have Javi Morales, the number one babysitter of all time. Maybe I'm a little drastic. I try not to put on a character here. I try to be as real as possible, and it seems like I'm
but
putting
you
on
are
a character
though. Like Chris himself, you have to understand if you're listening and if you're new, and we appreciate you. Hopefully, you stick around. You will get to know that Chris in himself is just a character. So that's just who Chris is. Not that it's a bad thing, but he is.
It's not.
When he chooses a side, he will dig his heels in and die on that side. And the more we kind of gang up on him, I guess you could say, the more he'll dig his heels in. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
It's not horrible. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm sure your wife loves that.
It's sometimes. And look, I'm right, and you guys are wrong, and that's the bottom line. Get out. Next topic.
All right. So, well, I mean, if you see across the bottom, it says Messi's officially here. So I guess let's get a couple of Messi things out the way. First, when do you think Messi starts training with the team? His first game is slated to be on the 21st, which is next Friday. Today's the 12th. That is 9 days away. He didn't practice today, so he has 8 days. He's not going to obviously practice all 8 days. Do you think he starts practicing tomorrow? Because my understanding is he put pen to paper already, right? Did I hear that correctly?
I mean, I don't know if he actually put pen to paper, but I did see someone break the news. I think it was Nico, if I'm not mistaken. Basically mentioning that on Monday, he is going to be available to press and to be able to train. Which is weird because like he's being presented on Sunday, but Monday would be the day that he is going to actually train for the first time.
All right. So hypothetically, he trains for 4 days with the team, with the game being on Friday.
Yeah. Lucas is doubling down with me.
Okay. He's not running out there 90 minutes on Friday.
I don't believe so.
So if you had to bet money, would you bet that he starts the game and gets subbed out the 60th minute? Or do you think he comes on this 55th, 60th minute and finishes the game?
You know, it's crazy that you mentioned that because I was thinking, before it would be hands down. I think he should start. But then imagine the roar in the crowd when he comes off the bench. Because, I mean, everybody's on Miami time, right? Because nobody's going to get there on time.
Well, people will be there on time. No, people will be there on time for that game.
You think so? You think
100%,
so?
Without a doubt in my mind.
You don't think that everybody would be more gassed if he gets let off the bench within like 20 minutes?
If you're talking about a moment, right? Like you want to create a moment. Yes, I think the moment would be a lot more TV special, right? If he comes on, as soon as you see that he's about to check in, the crowd goes crazy. The camera spans to him, and then they span across the stadium while everybody's yelling. that
Yeah.
is more of a special moment than him just standing in center pitch and kicking the ball off, right? Because everybody's energetic, but it's not just a singular moment. But that
Yeah.
singular moment when he walks up to check in, that
Oh no,
moment
everybody is
will be
they're all their pants
those
are soiled.
30 to 60 seconds will be crazy energy unless you're getting your ass kicked, right? Unless you're getting your ass kicked. So I
Which
do
I doubt.
agree. If you, me too. If you are like banking on that, like you want that one special moment, I agree. Maybe he subs in, but I think that it's more likely that he starts and then he gets subbed out early. That's what I would think.
One thing I want to mention here, because Hazel asked me already, who's my favorite player from Inter who's not injured?
Emerson
Robert
Rodriguez.
Taylor. Well, yes, correct, but he's not here. So
But he is
I
an Inter
mean,
Miami player.
he's here, so yeah, I guess, but he's not here. But I'm talking about in a jersey. I'd say Taylor is my favorite player, and I'm going to tell you guys something. I think that Messi is going to have a blast if he gets a chance to play with Taylor on the same field. I think that he is going to have a blast with Robert Taylor.
I think we're
So
gonna have that conversation because I think Robert Taylor might be left out of a lot of playing
I
time.
think so too. But if it does happen, I believe that that's going to be amazing. Now, Lucas is mentioning traffic is going to be hell. Listen, park in the orange lot. I got out of there in 5 seconds. I actually parked in the yellow lot last time, and it took me 45 minutes.
Keep telling everybody to park in the orange lot, and you won't be getting out of there in 5 minutes anymore.
Yeah, oh man. Okay, guys, park in the green lot. Okay, get all the
All
green
right.
lot passes you can.
Where is Busquets? Now, I know we saw Nico put something out earlier. What was it that he put out? Because I know he put out some specifics, and I forgot what was that he said about Busquets. Did he say he was arriving before Sunday?
I believe that I believe he said that he was going to arrive before Sunday. I mean, I don't know. I mean, at this point, I don't really care when the hell Busquets gets here. Like, he's going to get here before Sunday. There's no way they're going to have the unveil without him, right?
I would assume so, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody's telling me that he has problems with his papers or his work papers, or I don't know. This whole thing has come together so quickly that it's starting to worry me a bit.
So Steven Gomez here is commenting that he's heard he's landing on Saturday. Lucas also is stating that he arrives on Saturday. So there we go. Saturday is the day. He's literally not even going to have a full 24 hours until he's like on a pedestal in the middle of Drive Pink Stadium, which I wanted to mention a comment by Mike. If I'm trying to find it here.
But while you look for it, I wanted to address real quick. Brown Heron. So what about Jordi Alba? My understanding is that he is expecting a newborn baby, and because of that, he might not be around this weekend. Now, I don't know if that affects his status for the 21st. It might. I'm not sure. That I haven't heard, but I have heard that he might not be here this weekend because he is an expecting father. Now, I don't know if that's his first. You know, if it's third or fourth, after that, it's not that special anymore. So maybe he'll miss it. But I'm joking. All right. What were you gonna say?
Well, I'll tell you what I think in terms of Jordi Alba. That guy's flying coach here, right? Like, he's not getting private jets. He's not flying first class. Like, he's getting the coach treatment, right? He might be flying in with the freaking baggage.
I think you might be underestimating Jordi Alba, bro.
I guess, whatever. So Mike V mentions here, that's the issue. You think he's going to want to come in if we're trailing by 2 or 3 goals? Listen, I mean, at this point, if he signs that
He's going to
paper,
have to.
it doesn't matter. He has to, right? But imagine that, Mike V. Imagine that, right? He comes on, we're getting our asses kicked, right? Messi just storms on the field and then scores like 5 goals, or at least attributes to 5 goals. What? That is amazing. Like,
that's not gonna happen.
That would be. What do you mean it's not going to happen? Messi had like 3 goals like in 5 minutes a couple games ago, didn't he?
No.
There was a game that he did have like a hat trick recently.
Maybe, but not in 5 minutes.
Oh my God, Hazel. That is a great question right there.
His bad bunny for those listening on audio, Hazel asked, Danny, is Bad Bunny singing the national anthem? I don't think so. Now, I will tell you, before Franco Panizo put out that tweet that there's a possibility that you might see Bad Bunny, Maluma, and Shakira there, I thought that there was a solid possibility. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Lucas just updated us that Panama scored. Um, I thought there was a serious possibility that Maluma and Shakira would be people because they're constantly in Miami. Maluma loves soccer. I thought that was a really possible get. The Bad Bunny thing, I never would have guessed that. Is that going to happen? Nothing official has been put out there. Everybody's been speculating that they're trying, but nothing official is out there. Maybe they want to keep it that way because if they were to find out, people would find ways to kind of sell their tickets, meet up with them in person, and like walk them in or something, because that's going to become an even hotter ticket for Sunday. Because not only are you getting to see Messi for the first time, but you get to see Bad Bunny, which is probably the biggest musical artist
And
right now in the world.
Shakira. My wife told me that Shakira is also going to be there.
Oh, but
And with a
Shakira
bunch of
isn't as big
Spaniards,
as
she's
Bad
going to
Bunny.
stick it into Pique.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I do think that. Oh, okay. And somebody just said Bad Bunny is a huge Messi fan. I wasn't aware. That's news to me. But we'll see. I'm excited. Now, I did want to go to Richard Greenberg real quick. He said, "Will you boys be wearing a Messi Inter Miami jersey?" Now, a couple of things. First, I always said that I was never going to buy a Inter Miami jersey with a name across the back because, I mean, I didn't think that there would be any player that sticks around long enough to be worthy of it, right? In MLS, just like in just soccer across the world, players come in and out, right? So I usually don't. But because it's Messi and you could consider that he's the greatest of all time, I'm considering getting a Messi jersey. I also would probably just be wearing a lot of the battered fans, Inter Miami and Messi shirts. But if I do get a jersey, I might get Messi on the back. Now, those jerseys are probably going to be hard to come by because I'm assuming they're going to be flying off the racks. As soon as they go on sale online, flying off the racks. Now, I do know that the flagship Adidas store in Soho in Manhattan already has them on sale. I saw a few pictures floating around there, but I'm considering it. I'm definitely considering getting a Messi jersey. Chris, you getting a Messi jersey?
You know what? I kind of want to follow what you say, where it's like, if you're going to get somebody's name on the back of a soccer jersey, and I didn't really understand it until you told me, like, soccer players really sometimes, I guess, interchange with other teams often, that they get, changed over a lot or whatever. They don't really sit with the team.
Right.
And so at this point, like, I mean, we're talking about Messi here, whether he plays 3 years or 5 minutes, like just the fact that he's with the team, I think you got no other choice but to get a Messi jersey.
I agree.
You got no other choice. And I want to mention something before we move on here. Somebody here in the chat mentioned, let's see here, that Jordy is flying spirit. I 1,000% believe that, James. 1,000% believe that. He is definitely.
You guys are gonna put some Jordy out.
He has 2 connecting flights. One of them is in Dallas, Fort Worth, right? He is for sure on a spirit.
You guys are gonna start putting some respect on Jordy's name real quick. I bet you. Let's put it. I'm gonna put it out here. If he starts the same game as Messi, how much do you want to bet he gets an assist before Messi does? I mean, Messi might be the one scoring the goal, but I promise you, Jordy gets an assist before Messi.
Who wants to put $5 on that? Anybody want to put a Starbucks gift card on that?
Who wants to bet me? I'll bet anybody, and if I lose, I'll buy you a beer at the game. Actually, no, I'm lying. I won't buy you a beer. Those shirts are expensive as fuck. But I'll buy you something. I'll figure something.
A Starbucks $5 gift card.
And so they said that they already got the bootleg versions over there in India. $550. I don't know how much $550 is. It. I wouldn't imagine that's like dollars. Like it can't be $550. Like I'm assuming there's some type of exchange there. I'm not sure what that rate is, but that's crazy if it's a knockoff. But yeah, man, I've been seeing. I saw pictures of people. I saw people in Colombia rocking the Messi jerseys already. Like I've seen it in a lot of places around the world. Like it's not just like the United States. Around the world, everybody's rocking Inter Miami gear, which is what Inter Miami wanted. That's what Jorge Mas wants. He wants a global brand. And Messi hasn't even taken an official picture with the jersey yet. And we're already a global brand. We got Sadeh from India joining us. We got, oh my God, I forgot your name. I'm sorry. But from Houston joining us. Like, whether it's spreading across this country or across the world, Messi has made Inter Miami a global brand, and USA has just tied the game 1-1 for Heredia. And like I said, we couldn't wait for this game to end. It's probably gonna end up going to PKs. So I'm missing it. I'll catch the replay, I guess, later.
I just want to
You guys keep me up
say
to
that
date.
I just want to say before I wasn't going to say this, but now I am. I guess we're good luck because we tied the game, so USA is coming back. So that means that the battered herons are good luck.
They also scored on us since the show started.
Yeah, but now we scored though, so like we're kind of good luck.
We're just
kinda
kissing
how,
sisters. That's just what we do.
I guess whatever. Now Hazel mentioned here, let's go battered herons tifos. Danny and I were talking about that. If anybody else sits in 124 and wants to help us so we can suffocate the entire 124 section, let us know. We'll work in tandem and we will suffocate. I know we already got Rob Wise. I know we got Hazel.
Can we talk about that actually? Not the tifo so much, but and then we'll move on to other stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I know we got caught up with a lot of this nonsense, but I do want to talk about this. When Messi arrived yesterday, there was a small group of fans that were waiting in the stadium. I don't know if they thought that they were actually going to see him. I don't know if they did. Do you remember what their name was? They're supposedly they're trying to become a supporters group. I forgot what their name was.
I don't know.
The Messiahs, something.
The Messiahs. I don't know who. I don't know.
If this becomes a supporters group, which I don't think it can, because I think you need a lot more numbers. If it does, Chris, I say we do an unofficial supporters group of the battered herons on the south side, because at this point they're just letting anybody become a supporters group.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody is being a supporter group. Like these guys literally just came out of like a dungeon with their Fugazi Messi shirt jerseys, whatever they got on.
I have no issue with it. I just when and I don't know, it was just going
the
around
Messiatics. Oh my God! Imagine
look,
there's no way.
And I understand. Look, I get both sides. I've been one of the first to say back in November when we had some people on, they're like, "Oh, we don't want Messi to come." A lot of bandwagon fans. I welcome everybody. I want there to be more fans. I want this team to grow. I want that stadium to be full. And if it takes Messi, I promise you, a small percentage, even if just a small percentage of those fans that came for Messi might stay after he leaves, and I'm okay with that. But to make a supporters group in our stadium for Inter Miami, but it not be directed for the club or the badge, that's kind of weird. That I'm not a fan of, right? So I bring all the fans you want, but to try to make a supporters group for a player in the club stadium, I think that's a little weird. I wasn't a fan of that, and whatever.
And Lucas is mentioning that he got attacked, literally jumped for calling them shameless, starting a supporters group strictly for Messi. Let me tell you something, Lucas. Let me tell you something. You are 1,000% correct. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's about the badge, Danny. It's not about the Messi.
I wouldn't call it shameless or disgrace.
Get that stuff out of here.
Messi, to some, especially Argentinians, like that guy's like a god to them. So I get it. I get it because they're quote unquote God, right? Like in quotation marks, right? Because I understand that it's a figure of speech, but he's coming to play by where a lot of them live. So that has to be like almost an out of body experience, right? That they're going to be able to see him on a consistent basis. So I get it. So I don't want to call it a disgrace. I don't think it's a disgrace. I think it's overzealous fandom. And if they're just doing it and they're just going to be a cute little group that goes to the stadium together, that's cool. If they actually get supporters groups members and like supporter group privileges, then I think that's a little outlandish. But I like I said, I think they need a lot more members, and that's probably not going to happen. But I was hearing that that's what they want to do. Now, if that's true, if it's not true, I take it all back, and I didn't mean anything I said. But that's what I heard going around Twitter, that they want to be a supporters group, and if that's true, I think that's a little wild. Because to me, the badge before anything, the front of the jersey before the back. That's to me though. But I don't shame anybody, man. I want everybody to be a fan. Everybody jump on the bandwagon. I want that stadium to be as full and popping as possible.
And Broward Heron mentions here, I bet they're not going to be there after a month. I think they're going to be there after a month. I think that
they'll be here 2.5 years.
I think that everybody. I think I don't know. I think that after like a year and a half, 2 years, I think that the gas is going to eventually sort of disperse, and then they're not going to come. They're just going to sell their tickets or whatever it is.
Look, the first year and a half, it's gonna be Messi's here. We got to go see him. The last year is gonna be Messi's retiring. We got to go see him. The 2.5 years, everybody is going to go and be a Messi fan.
I mean, look at this. Lucas is informing us a group of minimum 50 plus people. Am I going to start having to slash tires down in Florida City or what? Nah, I'm
Look,
just joking. You guys go
again,
out to the stadium. All fans go out to the stadium.
we'll adjust the prices right now, Richard Greenberg. Again, I don't mind there being new fans, and I don't mind that there's gonna be people just here for Messi. I don't mind that. I just thought that the supporters group thing I thought was weird. That's all. But I'm all for Messi fans showing up. Like I get it. I understand it 100%. Look, I started watching Chelsea games because Pulisic went to play in Chelsea, and I don't give a crap about Chelsea. I really don't. But I wanted to see how Pulisic did. I was hoping that an American would finally succeed in Europe, and obviously he didn't. And now he's over in Italy. But that's fine. I I understand it. I would never go and become a Chelsea fan. I would never go ahead and make a Pulisic supporters group. But then again, Messi is on another level than Pulisic, and so
Yes.
it's different. All right, so go ahead.
I want to mention something about Richard's comment so that way you can get right to it too. I didn't look too much into it, but within the last half hour, maybe 45 minutes ago, I looked at some of the seats and what is it? The ADA seats, like the handicap seats, right square in the middle of the field. Those seats, a pair of them are selling for your firstborn child. For your firstborn child, you maybe can watch Messi play soccer on the 21st.
They aren't going for as expensive as a lot of people thought.
You're right. You're
Richard.
right, Ankit.
Richard. A lot of people thought that these tickets would be going for $1,000, and I don't know if it's something that the club did on purpose, but they kept releasing tickets. They didn't release them all at one time, so they never sold out. So therefore, you can't overcharge for something that isn't sold out because people could just go on Ticketmaster or StubHub and get tickets easy, basically. So I don't think you're gonna find the seat cheaper than $300 to the game, but some people were talking about $800, $900, $1,000, the cheapest seat in the house, and I don't think that that's going to be the case anymore. I really don't. I do think that the cheapest ticket will be $300-$400, give or take. But I don't think that it's going to be as crazy as some people said. And there were some other people that were talking about how, oh my God, look, that people are putting their tickets up for, what was it, like $25,000. I remember we came on the show and we said that's ridiculous. Just because they put them at that price doesn't mean that they're going to sell at that price. So it's not that serious. But yes, the tickets are going for a lot cheaper than I thought. Now let's see if that stays the case once Messi kind of gets introduced with his jersey, right? Once that first picture comes out, I think that buzz might start up again. But until then, we won't know. So we'll wait and see. All right. All right. So let's moving along. Chris had an interesting tweet late last night. I retweeted it this morning about Diego Gomez. He is the new player that is. Alex Winley said that he's coming, so I'm assuming he's coming. The central midfielder, 20 years old, and Chris wasn't happy about it. What are your thoughts, Chris, on Diego Gomez?
So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just sort of gonna filibuster, just so that way I can be able to put this image up of this guy Diego, because guys, you guys are literally getting excited for a rank 65 player on FIFA 23. This guy's ranked 65, guys. He's barely silver. All right,
but
barely.
I'm gonna have this FIFA discussion with you, Chris. I'm gonna have this FIFA discussion with you. Okay, I'm sorry if you guys don't play video games. This is the guy that FIFA's the video game for soccer, and they rate every player basically in the world. And I'm gonna have this discussion with you, Chris. I think it's okay. Let's have it. He's a 65 overall, Chris.
This guy.
He's 20 years old. He's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Chris, would you say Campana is a good player?
Yeah, Campana is a good player. He's good.
You know Campana is a DP of ours.
Yeah, I know
he's a 67 overall. So if you tell me that our DP is a 67 overall and we're getting a young DP, a U22 basically, it's basically a young DP, right? Because he doesn't count against the cap after they take that small hit against the salary cap. You go ahead and you get him at 20 years old,
Danny.
and he's 65. He can just have a half decent season and already on FIFA terms be considered better than Campana. I think you should be ecstatic that we are getting a player that's that young, expected to be good. And because it's Tata, you know it's Tata pulling the strings now. Because it's Tata scouting and bringing him on, I am very excited about this. Extremely excited about this because I think that this is a great move to have somebody that Tata handpicks to join the team. Look at what he did with Almiron. He came, he balled, he gave Joseph his best season in his life, and then he went on to was it Newcastle? I forgot where he went. I'm sorry, but he went over to the English Premier League. This could be that case. Tata has a nose for talent in South America, and I am glad that Chris Henderson is now bringing these young players from South America. I think it's a great move.
Listen, one thing I want to mention here, James, we're not even going to talk about this comment here. We're just gonna ignore this just for the sake of my argument.
Thank you, James. Thank you, James.
So you don't think
for those
those
listening on audio, because we do have a large portion of people that listen on audio. We are listened to in over 25 countries. Just figured I'd throw that out there since that's what Franco likes to do. We are listened to in over 25 countries and on Apple. So for those listening, Drake, we think is one of the best 5, probably 3 goalies in the league, is rated at 59. So back to this FIFA debate that we're having with Chris. Drake, one of our best players, is rated at 59. So there you go, Chris. Don't take FIFA
but that's
too serious.
Yeah, but that's because he had a bad haircut in the picture. That's why they ranked him 59. Okay?
They saw it. They didn't even bother to look at the highlight video.
They just said, this guy has a terrible fade. Like, we got to give this guy a 59. Are you kidding me? So, like, this guy here, Gomez, like, you got a 60 pass for a center midfielder, bro. Get out of here. 60 pass, you're 56 shooting. My one-legged grandmother shoots better than you, buddy. You're 20 years old and you have 73 pace. Get out. That's it. That's my argument. That's my argument, Danny.
Look, I respect it.
FIFA stats are rigged. I mean, listen, that's what I go by. Okay. And we got Jordi Alba. Yep. Jordi Alba is at 85, Papa. That's what we got here, LaRue.
That's why he's going to get an assist before Messi.
You're kind of crazy. There's a comment here that I saw. Wait, hold on. Ankit brought up a comment saying a Cruz Azul player recently said in a press when asked about Messi, said he is just a normal player as others. Let's beat them by 5 goals, please. What player?
I respect that.
What? I mean, look, I get it.
You can't go into this game with fear.
I know but you don't want to acknowledge like, oh, we're gonna be playing Messi. Oh my God, I love Messi.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was a Cruz Azul player, I'm going into Messi studs up as soon as I see him.
So
if I was a Cruz Azul player,
you're gonna end a world beater's career. Is what you're gonna do. You're gonna be known for that guy.
You're not taking out his knees, but you're going in rough on him. You're saying welcome to the Americas.
Welcome to the but you have a Cruz Azul player telling him welcome to the Americas. I would expect like an MLS player to do that in an MLS game. Look at this. Lucas is, I mean, what?
You don't think
you
that
are a savage, Danny?
You don't think that that's what those players are thinking? You don't think that they're gonna come out and make a point? They're not gonna look. Everybody knows what the star of the show is on that game. And I know Cruz Azul is going to come out and they're going to be like, we're going to ball today. We're going to prove a point and we're going to make sure we take Messi, the shine away from Messi. We're going to beat this team's ass, right? That's why he said, let's put 5 on them. They're coming out here to kick our ass. I get it. But I do think they're going to come in rough on them. Thank you. I believe. And that's what I was going to bring up. When David Beckham made his debut, I forgot who they played against, but they tried to take him out. It's like, welcome to the MLS. So I think that it's something. Look, I agree. I understand thinking of winning and I don't think that they want to go ahead and end Messi's career. but I do think they want to go ahead and make a statement. So
If this happens, this comment by Mike V, if Pizarro goes to Cruz Azul, I can 1,000% bet
he's
that
going to
he
Greece.
is going to. Well, let's just say he goes to Cruz, just for the sake of this little, back and forth here, buddy. Let's just say he goes to Cruz Azul. I want to see him full blown like Shawn Michaels, straight sweet chin music.
Oh, but when I said it, it was horrible.
No, but I mean, I could picture the whole Pizarro sweet chin music like right in the chin.
And I'm not saying that they're going into to end Messi's career, but I do think that you go in and you play a little rough with him. I do think that the refs are going to be quick to pull out that yellow card as soon as that first foul happens. But I do think you go in and you're a little rough with him when that first that initial touch. I do think that happens. Do I want it to happen? Obviously not. I don't want it to happen. But have you seen what the Mexican supporters did against other Mexican supporters over there in Cali? They're like stabbing each other. These people are they make a point.
Take it real serious. Yeah, they take it real serious.
The studs up. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want it to happen.
They out here catching bodies, guys. So let's talk about the starting 11. What it's gonna look like, Danny? Is it gonna be Dylan, or like what's the look here? And David and Miller's gonna be back, right?
Well, Yedlin. Well, by next, you're talking about this Saturday. I'm talking about for the 21st.
Okay, for the
21st, everybody should be available.
Everybody's gonna be back. Yes,
everybody should be available for the 21st.
Yeah.
For the 21st, I'm assuming Noah Allen obviously is gonna lose his spot to Jordi Alba if Jordi Alba's available. He's the only one that I'm questioning, just because of the fact that paperwork and his newborn kid. But if he's back, I think he plays left back. I still think that there's a good chance that Ian Frey takes Kamal Miller's starting job. So Ian Frey, Christoph, and then Yedlin are at the right back, right? That's the back four. Well, we have Drake at goalie, and then you have Busquets and Arroyo as your CDMs, right? So double pivot. So that's your six back there. Now the question is, do you think that they play with two strikers or one striker?
I would think that they'd play with two strikers because now they have people that can actually pass the ball a little better.
Because if they play, so they could potentially play a 4-2-2-2, right? So they could have those four. They could have the double pivot with Busquets and Arroyo. Then they could have Messi and Diego Gomez playing the central midfield, and then they could have Campana and Joseph up top. Do you really think that the Diego Gomez won't start if they bring him in?
Dude, you're really thinking that he's going to start over like Taylor? You think that he's going to start?
Taylor is not going to start on this team anymore.
You think that he's not going to get the start? You think that this guy, Diego Gomez, number 65, is going to come in and start immediately?
Let's say hypothetically, they go with one striker. Okay, let's say hypothetically they go to one striker. I honestly believe... I haven't heard anything about the Stefanelli injury. If they go with one striker, I think that they still go with the double pivot with Busquets and Arroyo. But I think it would be Messi, Diego Gomez, and I think it's Benjo Kramaski. Kramaki, right? That's how he says it. Kramaki. I don't think Robert Taylor sees the field, maybe as a sub, but I think Kramaki starts next to Messi and Diego Gomez. I think if Diego Gomez gets on this team, he starts immediately.
Over Kramaki.
Maybe not over Kramaki, not right away. But I mean, I as much as I want to see a two-striker set, I think it might not happen.
So I think it might not happen. Yeah, you don't think it's going to come out to two strikers. You think it's just going to be the solo striker up top then?
Yes, and I think Messi's going to be behind them, and then you have Kramaki out to the right and Diego Gomez off to the left. That's what I envision. Diego is a central midfielder, but I think he'll play up maybe close to the left. And yeah, that's how I see it. I think that's what you're gonna see. And I mean, like I said, always we don't know. But have we heard anything about Sergio Ramos? Sergio Ramos, it was a fake rumor. Supposedly they never even reached out to him. Unfortunately, as much as it pains me, Sergio Ramos will not be on Inter Miami, at least not this year.
And Mike V mentions here in the chat that they're going to be playing Campana. They're going to put Martinez on El Bencho because he's going to cry to Daddy Tata and he'll get some time. Listen, I don't see. I don't know, man. I'm thinking if we have two solid strikers in Campana and Joseph, why not start them in front of the best player on the planet right now? So my starting lineup to me would be, and I have no idea how you're starting Ian Frey over Miller, because maybe it's just out of sight, out of mind with Miller because we haven't seen him play in a while. But like Miller was solid on defense. He was a good passer and pushing the pace as well.
I think Ian Frey has been better.
I think Ian Frey shows more upside in terms of, for example, he's got a little bit more pace. He's a little bit more versatile in terms of he can move up the field a little bit more faster.
You and I disagree on who's better right now, and that's fine.
Yes.
But let me pose this question this way then. If you think Kamal Miller's a little better, I think Ian Frey's a little better. I don't think either one of us think that either one of them is light years ahead of the other. Fair.
No.
Okay, so fair. So we're both more or less on the same line. But if I were to tell you that Kamal Miller's contract ends at the end of this year and Ian Frey's with us for the future, do you think it's more beneficial for us to keep giving Ian Frey big minutes rather than Kamal Miller just because Kamal Miller's probably going to be gone next season?
That I can see, especially because Tata in one of the interviews that he had yesterday, I believe, he mentioned the fact that he's really looking at these homegrowns, right? All the guys that are the young bucks, and he really does see a lot of promise in them. So I can see that happening. Now, do I think it's the right choice? I don't know. I think that it's better to play Miller at this point than it is to play Frey. I think that it would be an advantage to bring Frey in off the bench. But I think it's going to be Yedlin, Miller, Kristoff, Alba. You have Arroyo, Busquets. You have Messi.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You have Messi. You have Taylor. And then you have Kramaski. And then you'll have Joseph,
single striker.
Yeah, as
so
a single striker.
You got Taylor starting over Diego Gomez.
I don't even got Diego Gomez on this team, Danny. What are we doing? This guy.
Look, I go by Alex Winley. If you don't follow her, go ahead. Her hair and outlet. She's awesome. She's usually on the money. She said he's coming. I think he's coming. U20. It's basically like a young DP. I think that if he comes, he plays.
I want to mention something. Sean, thank you for joining, right? Sell Miller for the money. Thank you for joining. Get out. Okay? I'm just
Supposedly
joking,
he wants
Sean.
to go
You
to
can
Europe.
hang out.
Supposedly he wants to go to Europe.
But you know what it is with selling Miller? Like, we gave up a promising center midfielder in Duke, bro.
But
like,
look,
imagine
Miller was
being
a nice
able
return.
to see Duke play with freaking Messi, bro.
Duke wouldn't play with Messi. Where is he going to play? Is he going to ride on his back? They're not going to play the same exact position. Duke wasn't going to see the field. He couldn't even see the field when we had Pizarro at the 10. Duke, forget about Duke. Duke is a Canadian now. We don't care about
I know,
Duke.
bro. I know. Get him out.
Kamal Miller was not a throw-in. He's an all-star last year. He's good. But the reason that they did that trade is for the allocation money that they got back. They got like $1.8 million back. It was a $1.8 million back. Like, they got a lot of money. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Hendo uses that allocation money. He throws that thing around. That's what's let us work under these sanctions, because he keeps trading for all this money. That Lewis Morgan trade got us over $1 million in GAM. Who else? We let go of Duke, and there's a couple that are slipping my mind right now off the top of my head. But we keep getting allocation money in these trades, and that's the biggest reason we let go of Duke, was for the allocation money that we got in return. Now, Kamal Miller was great. He was great to get him back. Awesome job by Hendo. But when Ian Frey is playing well and Kamal Miller wants to go ahead and play in Europe and his contract ends in a couple months, you let Ian Frey get the rest of the season and the future, I think, and especially to the fact that he has a homegrown contract and you don't have to pay him as much as everybody else.
And that's where I can agree with you and Sean.
Thank
so
you.
it's
a
not
Mabika trade. Thank you.
It's not far-fetched for Sean to say what he's saying here, where Frey is better than Miller. Miller wants to go to Europe.
Also.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not far-fetched, Sean. The only thing is like, I'm just wondering where the headspace is at for Messi. Like, what does he want? Does he want like potential players? Does he want people that have this young upside, this like engine that never stops kind of deal? or does he want like more, better skilled players on the
He
field?
wants he wants he wants skilled players.
Yeah, I mean, but if he
He's
wants
very
skilled,
aggressive, but he's
yeah,
very aggressive, and his teams going by what Tommy one time, right? Because he's a big Atlanta fan. He
yeah.
watched Tata very closely for the 2 years that he was there. He's very aggressive going forward, but it's not necessarily a transitional offense. But you keep pushing forward. You touch the ball, you need tactical players that can go ahead and pass the ball and move it forward. A lot of forward accurate passes. And I think that you need skilled players for that. So although Robert Taylor is cute, right? I call him Neymar light. He's cute with the ball at his feet. He necessarily wouldn't work in something like that. I think that you need players like Busquets, like Messi, like what I've heard from Diego Gomez. The little bit that I've heard is that he's good. So um, I'm not. I don't think that they're looking deeply into the pace.
I would have mentioned Santi asked here, is Gregory significantly better than Arroyo? Gregory is
Defensively,
injured,
yes.
but yeah, Gregory defensively is better. Gregory, before he got injured, was actually showing a little bit more promise on the offensive side of the ball. Um, and Lucas, listen, what am I gonna do with this? Hendo been cooking. Lucas, he had nothing to do with the Messi deal. He had nothing to do with Busquets. He had nothing to do with
Don't
Alba.
don't
This
take
guy's
don't take credit away from Chris Henderson because all those
he's moving
trades.
pieces. Yeah, he's moving
But that's the
pieces.
only way you can get a Jordi Alba. That's the only way you can have money to buy down a Gregory to bring in a Busquets. Like I understand that all that allocation money kind of like isn't really focused on too much, but
Yeah.
in the MLS when you have a salary cap, that's very important. And Hendo's been cooking because he's been getting all that money back. So I give Hendo plenty of credit.
Look, he's been, you know what he's been doing? He's in the kitchen and he's using the minimum ingredients to make great appetizers. So that way the main cooks can come through and serve tremendo entrees. Okay. And tremendo for everybody is tremendo. Okay. That's it. Google it.
Well, this show has been a hot mess because we've just been all over the place, but
We,
we
it's
appreciate
been
everybody
fun
in the chat.
though.
It has.
Yes.
It has. All right. So Sunday, the unveiling, right? They said that there's an unveiling, but they refused to say the name, which means that there's no pen to paper yet. That's why they haven't
Yes.
announced the names. But we know who's coming. We know what artists are supposedly going to be around. Chris, what are you expecting on Sunday? When does the event even begin? Because I thought it was 8 o'clock, but then I got my email and it says 6 o'clock. Is this going to
It
be like one of
says-
those concerts when you show up and it's like 8
Yes.
o'clock, but the artist doesn't show up until like 10 o'clock? Because I'm going to be
Of
pissed.
course. You think
Nah, I
Bad
don't
Bunny
want- I
is going to be rolling in at 5 o'clock? Bad Bunny,
Well, Bad Bunny can keep going back to Puerto Rico. He doesn't need to stop here. If he's not going to respect us, I don't want to see his ass. I'm now showing up at 8 o'clock and waiting until 10 o'clock to see somebody.
Yeah, I'm not doing that either. But my wife, she brought up the idea, or we were talking about the idea of what if Messi decides to sign the contract like in the middle of the field, like in the reveal, like sign the agreement right there, right?
Maybe.
That would be insane.
Okay. I don't know if they're allowed. I mean, I guess they would. I don't know how that works. Would they have to wait until that pen to paper happens and then they can start selling his jerseys at the team store? Like, are they going to be like
guess.
really like, maybe? I don't know.
Like, imagine everybody gets into the stadium and there's no Messi paraphernalia. Everybody sits down, and in that 20 minutes, they just fill the stores, and then they have him sign the contract at half field, and then everybody leaves their seats and they see a bunch of messy stuff. That would be great. Because apparently, one thing that I know my wife read online, she said that she saw that I guess this was going to be some sort of like a halftime show for one of the Gold Cup games on Saturday.
The Sunday,
So
the
I
Gold
guess
Cup game is on Sunday, and because
Sunday,
they thought
yes.
that the USA might make it, I don't know what the game's looking like right now, but they thought that USA would be in the final, so that they would give a part of the presentation during the halftime on either Fox or one of those other networks. So yeah, that's what they were discussing. I don't know if that's accurate though.
But imagine like halftime, they break into halftime for this Gold Cup game, and then you see Messi signing a paper like on the grass in the middle of the field. like in a Sharpie. Look at yes, Mike V. This is perfect. Signing the agreement in blood while Bex wears a Maleficent costume. That is the dime of the day, Mike. You, my friend, are getting a prize. I don't know what it is, but you are getting a prize at some point.
All right. I'm wondering
Oh
what
my
security is going to
God.
be like.
Imagine this. This is like wrestling stuff. Estebandito throwing in. Imagine Ronaldo shows up and crashes the party like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like that would be insane. Oh shoot.
Um, Look, Panama 2-1. So I don't even know if how much attention that final's going to get if USA loses to Panama.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a lot of security. I'm expecting the traffic to be a nightmare, and I'm expecting that event that shouldn't take more than an hour or two to go like 4 hours. Jesus Christ! Now you said 2-2. I'm missing the game of the
Lucas,
year.
you are the greatest play-by-play person of all time, Lucas. You keep that up.
So I'm expecting Sunday to be very interesting, but definitely worthwhile. I'm waiting to see if they release tickets. They said that they might have some more tickets available, but they might be for sale. I know that if you're a season
Yeah.
ticket holder, you get them for free. So we'll see how that goes. The medium's been wild and all that stuff. But lost in Messi week is the fact that we still have a regular season game to play the day before, which nobody seems
Yes.
to care about. I think if you were to tell Inter Miami fans that you could just skip the game, everybody would be okay with it because absolutely nobody's talking about the St. Louis game on Saturday. But I think we should.
Imagine how Indiana Vasilev feels about this, right? Like he got
He feels
dealt.
disrespected.
He's over there, and like he's got this game circled on his calendar. All of a sudden, Messi comes and just poo-poos on his parade because nobody cares about Vasilev anymore, right? I mean, other than Trav. Trav, if you're listening, you're the only person that I think that cares about this game.
All right. So let's talk about St. Louis.
And Lucas mentioning that USA saved the penalty. Panama stinks.
What are you thinking about this game on Saturday? I'll start off real quick with we said that in the final 4 games we needed 3 points. So we needed 1 win out of the last 4 games. We ended up getting 3 draws in a row. So we got the 3 points anyway. So anything I think right now would be a cherry on top.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that we can get at least a point out of this. But before I give my prediction, Chris, what do you think about this game?
When I was watching, let me think about the past, because I remember in the beginning when St. Louis was playing and they were on fire. This guy Klaus, like he scared the daylights out of me. This guy was just scoring goals like a monster. But apparently he's been injured for some time. I know that there's been some healthy contribution from some of the other players. I know I sound like I'm breaking down like St. Louis City FC history here, but I'm not too knowledgeable on what they've been doing. But they've been doing good enough that I think they're in first place, if I'm not mistaken.
In the West, they are first place in the West, yes.
Yeah, and so I mean, I don't see us winning this game. It's in St. Louis. All these players, all they're thinking about right now is Messi. Like, there's no. I mean, maybe I'm wrong because obviously they want to stay focused for the game. Listen, if they get a tie, I would be fine with that. See, last game I wasn't okay with it because we should have won that game. But if we get a tie in this game, I would be okay with it, especially since we're facing against Indiana Vasilev's St. Louis FC team. Yeah, Sean mentions it here in the chat. A draw here would be a win. Yeah, Sean, I know it's the only time you'll say that. It's the only time I'll say that it too. I hate ties. Lucas chiming in, it's 3-3, talking about draws. So far, 3-3 and penalties. And now he just updated us. 4-3 USA.
St. Louis plays later tonight against LAFC. So I do think that they're going to be playing a lot harder for tonight than they will for Saturday. And looking at St. Louis, they started off hot. But when you look at the competition that they've played, they haven't beat anybody of much significance recently. The best teams that they beat were literally in the beginning of the season when they beat Portland. Isn't good this year either. The only teams that they beat that were impressive were Cincinnati on April 15th. They beat them 5-1, which was a very impressive win. But other than that, they've beat Sporting KC. Everybody beats them. They beat Chicago. They're not good. They beat Vancouver. They're not good. Houston's like eighth place in the West. Like St. Louis has benefited from playing teams like Real Salt Lake, for playing against. They've played twice against
Yeah.
San Jose. They played twice against Sporting KC. So I mean, you beat the teams that are in front of you. But honestly, St. Louis doesn't scare me. I think that Inter Miami is going to go ahead and win Tata's first game. I'm going to say that they're going to win 2-0.
Ooh, that's bold, dude.
No, it's
That's
not
bold.
bold. Tata's going to make a difference. The team's going to come out with more energy because Tata's on the sideline. Messi debuts the next day. If St. Louis somehow wins today or loses, doesn't matter. They're going to be tired from the LAFC game, and they haven't been very impressive over the last couple months. They've only beat up on Sporting KC and Vancouver and teams like that. They lost to Nashville. They lost to who else was that? They don't play anybody good. They lost to Portland. This team is overrated, in my opinion. So I think we're going to beat them, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I think it's gonna be 2-1. Inter Miami wins. Like I said, I'd be happy with a tie, but I think we're gonna win 2-1. And the only reason I'm gonna give them a goal in difference to what you're saying is because St. Louis, I think they have the highest percentage of points throughout the season.
Goal
I think
differential.
they've scored. Yeah, that they've had. No, I think they've scored by average like the most points per game
Yeah.
in the
Okay.
whole league.
Yes. Now,
So like they're a force. They're not
okay.
pushovers.
No, don't give them too much credit. So what happened with that scores per game is that they scored 4 on Sporting KC.
Yeah.
They scored 4 against Real Salt Lake. So they've put up a lot of goals on these sorry ass teams, which has inflated their stats. And then they did score 5 against Cincinnati, which was impressive. So in those 3 games, they had 8, 5, 13 goals in 3 games. So that inflated those numbers. So I'm letting you know, don't be scared of St. Louis. And the USA has just been eliminated from the Gold Cup. So maybe we'll even get Yedlin on Saturday.
Listen,
it's
Lucas,
turnaround. He won't.
Lucas, don't apologize. You are the hero for tonight. And just because of everything that you've done, you're going to get a round of applause, my friend. Okay? For updating everybody here in the chat of what's going on with the Gold Cup game.
St. Louis in the first, because the West has been a mess overall. Because we have teams in the East that are well over 40 and then 40 points. And then there's only, I mean, I guess you could say it's parity, but there's 9 points between 10 points between the 8th seed and the 1st seed. So they're pretty close together. So definitely. Yedlin is coming back early, but I doubt he plays on Saturday. He can't have, that's too quick of a turnaround.
Yeah, it is.
All right,
and
Chris.
Sean, by the way, since you have such a strong opinion on Berhalter, right? I think that that Ben agrees with his opinion, right, Danny?
Yes, one of our original battered herons absolutely hates Berhalter.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, if you are listening on audio, we do appreciate you sticking all the way to the end. I know today was a little bit of a weird episode, but it was. I mean, it's just Messi mania, right? It's a lot of just
Who cares,
Messi talk.
bro?
If you're watching on YouTube and you watched it all the way to the end, we appreciate you. Hit that like and subscribe button. And if you are in the chat right now, as always, we appreciate you. Lucas, thank you for the updates. We appreciate you guys. You guys are always are the best part of the show. So we appreciate everybody in here. Chris, anything else for the people?
Get a fucking shirt. Batteredfans.com. This Messi shirt, you can find it there along with other shirts like what Danny is wearing. Show some love. And everybody's got a thumb. Like and subscribe. Move that thumb up. Press that subscribe button. Press the thumbs up button. Don't be lazy, guys. All right?
And if any of you guys are season ticket holders, we'll be seeing you guys on Sunday because everybody's going to be out there for the festivities. So definitely excited. And I just saw one quick last comment that just popped up. Yes, we were actually going to head over to the Hard Rock and try the new Messi burgers. Chris's son has been dying to try it, so we're thinking of going out there. We might even videotape it since we're out there. Might as well just let everybody know what it tastes like and what it looks like and all that good stuff. So we'll see. That's the plan. And again, appreciate you guys for listening all the way to the end, and we will catch you guys on the next one.